All right, people, before we get into this video, I want to openly say that people make mistakes, okay? I have said some reckless things in my past. Mind you, these things that were said were about a team that was supposed to be led by a Kristaps Porzingis, all right? So when I say what I'm about to say in this video, y'all gonna have to let me, it'll make sense. Let's just get to the video. What's good, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2K, and welcome. And what's up? And how are you doing? And I don't know what I'm talking about. It has been a nice little break since the All-Star weekend. The Knicks don't play until Friday, so I wanted to drop a video talking about the anticipated game that is happening tonight, and that is the UNC versus Duke game. That's right, the Super Bowl, damn near. Have you seen the prices of these damn tickets? Have you seen the price of the cheapest ticket? I'm curious, if you go to Duke, you went to Duke or UNC or vice versa, when you're a student, do you have to pay these prices? I'm assuming you get in for free because you're a student, right? But please enlighten me, because that is ridiculous. For those who didn't see it, the prices are $2,500, the cheapest to get into this damn game tonight. And I'm gonna be sitting my happy self at home watching on ESPN. You better believe. Now, I've openly shown my love for all the Duke freshmen and want all of them, depending on wherever we fall in the draft, on my team. I've said that openly. But the thing is, I always get asked about other players that I'm looking at in the lottery in case, you know, we fall to 5 or so on and so forth, or we trade, or whatever the circumstance may be. But you guys are always asking me the other players to be looking at within the top 10 in the lottery. So I thought that this would be the best time, if any time, to go into depth of my favorite players in this year's draft. So this is going to be a rough draft, Knicks mock draft, not a mock draft of the NBA, a Knicks mock draft. So these are my favorite guys that I'm looking at right now that we would definitely draft if we had that 1st through 3rd pick, or that we would look at if we get that 4th or 5th pick. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5 for me is one of the dudes that's playing tonight, and he's one of the dudes that's not on Duke. Is Nassir Little. Nassir Little is somebody that I am actually a fan of. I've always been stuck between him and Kevin Porter, but I feel like Nassir Little, his game is just more well put together right now, and he's also coming through the pipeline that is UNC. I mean, for a combo forward like he is, he's super explosive. The dude is also a solid defender, and I think one of the most important things for us going into this draft is not only to get that next level talent, that guy that could be a part of the future, especially if everything goes right, we get Kevin Durant and so on and so forth, but we also need a guy that's going to fit a system and fit a championship caliber team, because once we get those guys, we're instantly going to be put into that talk right away if we get a Kevin Durant and stuff like that. And so we need the right guys that can be placed around him, that can do the role, that can fill the role. And I think Nassir Little is definitely somebody that we should look at. I feel like his draft range is anywhere between the 4th and the 7th pick. So obviously, if we drop down, please, basketball gods, don't do this to us. If we end up dropping down to the 4th or 5th pick and Cam Reddish so happens to be gone, who is also on my list that we're going to talk about in a second, I think that Nassir Little is definitely one of the guys that we should look at that can be a good 2 that can also play the 3. Now, if there's anything to point out about his game that I still feel like needs some work, is he's not the greatest when it comes to handling. For as explosive as he is getting to the rim and his shot and all that stuff, when he gets a rebound, he's not a guy like Kevin Knox that can get the rebound and go straight down. He's a guy that's gonna have to get the rebound, go, and then try to fill in the lane. But that's something that can definitely be improved in time, and we have a good development team with our coaching staff. I'm not too worried about that. But other than that, man, his game is pretty solid. It's just he's not quite up to par to the other 4 guys up top that list. But Nassir Little is definitely somebody I'm looking at. Now, this one is a bit of a stretch. This is definitely if we fall into that 5th spot, but the reason why I have him at number 4 is because I strongly believe, especially since the KP situation, we need to at least get somebody that can play a stretch 4 or play the 4 spot. But this guy can do a little bit of both, and he's DeAndre Hunter. Now, I know he's a little bit of a project right now because he's having some meteoric rise, because coming into this year, he wasn't necessarily thought of a guy that's going to be in the top 10, maybe in the lottery, but not quite the top 10. And for me, I think his draft range anywhere from number 5 to number 8. Again, once you get past the first 4, from then on, everybody is very interchangeable, and DeAndre Hunter's that guy. But I would move him up simply for the fact that he is a prototypical guy, and we've seen what we can do with a prototypical dude in Mitchell Robinson, and now he's just a stretch that we can figure his game out, especially with the likes of like a Kevin Durant or these kind of guys that we could possibly get in the free agency that can improve his game, and I really like DeAndre Hunter's game. Now, mind you, I know he's a dude that's coming off the bench, but like I said, he's a stretch 4. He's a big dude, long arms. He's only 6'8", but he's long, pause, and he's able to hit that 3 at a good clip. Mind you, he's not really playing many minutes for Virginia, but the thing is, in the time he's doing, again, you guys get the reason why I really like this guy. Very similar to a dude that we have on our team right now, minus the athleticism and freakish. You get what I'm trying to say. Now, he's not a crazy athlete like I'm trying to say with Mitch, but at the same time, he has the potential to be a stretch 4 guy. So I like him for the long term. I think he'd be a good spot. But again, this is only worst case scenario if we fall to the 5 and like all these guys, like, Cam's gone, RJ definitely would be gone, Zion would definitely be gone, Ja would probably be gone. So I think DeAndre Hunter or Nasir Little, those guys that we look at the 5, if that scenario happens where those guys are gone, and that's just my opinion. But of course, we're gonna get to your guys' opinion after this video is over. I think my last 3 are pretty predictable, and for my John Morant stands, I got some bad news for you. He is not one of these 3 people on my list. Pretty much the guys I have are the freshman sensations from Duke, from 3 being Cam Reddish, 2 being RJ Barrett, and 1 being Zion Williamson. Those are my top 3 favorite to look at in this draft, starting with Cam Reddish, who is arguably, and I've said this on Sim's podcast, I've said this on any kind of media outlet, Cam Reddish is arguably my favorite person coming into the draft. I realize the situation we're in, so obviously if we have the 1st or 2nd pick, we get Zion Williamson or we get RJ Barrett, point blank period, and there's no thought process in that. Personally, my favorite guy coming into this draft before Zion climbed the draft stock, because people don't realize Zion Williamson was projected to be like the 4th or 5th pick. Nobody really had him at number 1 up until he started playing. People don't really realize that. And RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish were the top 2 dudes in this year's mock draft, pre-mock draft, before any games were even played. But as of right now, definitely we already know that the goal is Zion Williamson. But to me, I'm a huge fan of Cam Reddish. I can't say enough how impactful Cam Reddish could be, but there's also the potential of him just being a flake and just having an Andrew Wiggins situation, which is probably the biggest downfall and why he's not a top 3 guy. He could potentially be drafted that high. We don't know what's going to happen after the tournament, but Cam Reddish has already shown in some situations that he is a clutch dude. The dude, he pretty much, I've compared him in many occasions. He is definitely a poor man's version of Paul George right now. He's a defensive being. He's 6'9" and can play some guard. I understand that we need the 4. I understand, but that's what free agency is for. This could be, especially with the kind of coaching staff we have, and if everything goes well in free agency, he could be a guy that can be groomed into possibly one of the key stars on our team or key players to our team. He could be the Klay Thompson of new to Kevin Durant. But again, this is only if we drop to 4 or 5. I think right now for me, I have him at a draft range of 3 to 5th, from 3 to 5th, from 3rd to 5th. But that's my guy, Cam Reddish. And number 2 on the list is RJ Barrett. Now, personally, I love RJ Barrett because I feel like he is the most complete player in the draft, the most all-around dude. He's a big guard that can be a Dwayne Wade-esque guy with a jump shot at a bigger size. Dwayne Wade's about 6'5", RJ Barrett's about 6'7", but they have the similar mindsets when the game. It seems like RJ Barrett is like the perfect form to what Dwayne Wade is, in my opinion. The dude is 19 or about to be 19, and he already has that alpha dog mentality, which is a huge factor when it comes to grooming a superstar type guy in the NBA draft. And RJ Barrett from the jump, for a Canadian especially, no shade to Canada, but he doesn't have that laid back persona a lot of these guys do. Yeah, he's smooth, yeah, he seems cool, but the dude is an alpha mentality dude, and I love that about his game. Like I said, of anybody in this draft, he's definitely the most well put together, the most polished. And like I said, even though we know Zion is the potential number 1 overall pick, RJ Barrett is the best man and the most valuable dude on this Duke team, point blank period. So if we, by whatever circumstance, fall to the 2nd pick, and whichever one goes first, I don't mind taking the other. I would assume that Zion would be the number 1 pick, and I would be perfectly fine with RJ Barrett being our default pickup. So RJ Barrett is somebody I'm really a big fan of, and we all know what number 1 is. I will openly say, like I said in my intro, I was wrong. I have been openly talking about my worries with Zion Williamson. And a lot of people have been calling me out saying like, CK, you obviously don't watch the games. You talk all this mess about Lonzo Ball, telling people that they're hating on him because they don't watch the game. But then here you are hating on the best player in the draft and you're not watching the games and blah, 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 blah. You guys have to understand that I have been watching Zion Williamson since high school. So I know the kind of guy he is. And the reason why I'm so worried about the future of Zion Williamson is because I've been watching him since high school. The dude is 285 pounds. As RJ Barrett says all the time, he doesn't make sense. He is 6'6", 285, and he's a freight train that can fly like an airplane. Woo! Put that on a t-shirt. Oh my God. Zion Williamson can easily be the next era LeBron James. I will have no problem saying that. I've been saying that. But my problem definitely before was us having the KP situation and not knowing how that would work out. Now that KP's out of the situation, I'm not even worried about that at all. The only reason why I was just so critical and so stupid about it was just like I said, it's just the legs holding up all that weight, and for everything he does, knees and legs situation are something that I just worry about long term, especially if he's going to be that guy that's going to take over. But I've gone past that. I know I'm being overly cautious about the whole situation. I know he's going to be a next level player for sure. If anybody in this draft, I definitely believe it's going to be RJ Barrett and Zion Williamson are going to be next level in this draft. So I don't know what more you want me to say. We've seen the highlights. We know what he's capable of. We know the kind of player he is. I mean, hell, if you've never seen him, I suggest that tonight of all nights, you guys definitely check out Zion Williamson, especially against UNC, because I expect them all to show out in tonight's game. So I definitely feel like the hands down option is we get Zion Williamson. I mean, barring the new draft rules, it's not a foregone conclusion that we can get the first pick, because that's just how it works. Right now, if it was old time rules, yeah, we have a pretty good shot at getting the first round pick. But right now, we have the same shot as the second and third worst team in the league. But palms to God, the basketball gods, give us the ball and we get the lottery pick so we can have Zion Williamson be on this team. There's so many scenarios around Zion Williamson as far as us keeping him and then bringing on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the perfect situation, or there's the other situation of trading him away as well as some of our other young talent to bring on Anthony Davis. So then we have an Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant situation, which is a lot of people's favorite. And I'm curious to know from you guys, which one are you looking at? Are you looking at keeping Zion Williamson, a possible future superstar, to pair with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? Or are you looking for B, instant gratification, trade him away and roll the dice with Anthony Davis as well as Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? You guys know me. I'm all about growing a foundation, and I feel like to get an Anthony Davis, who I know is an all-time great right now in today's game, to have the foundation that we finally have for the first time in years, to be able to be attractive to guys like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Chris Middleton and so on and so forth, Kemba Walker, all these guys, is because we have a young core that is there waiting in the wings to be groomed, and then still have space to bring these two guys and still have space to bring in other vets to help groom this whole situation. And I'm also thinking from the perspective of, what if we have that, that doubt that every Knicks fan has, and we strike out and we don't get Kevin Durant? But then we still have a good situation where we use this pick that we have, and we have a young core to pair with him. So we have a group of guys that can grow up together, especially with a guy and a coaching staff that hate him or love him, how you feel about Fizdale. This coaching staff has shown that they're good at developing players within this 1 year. Mitchell Robinson, any of our young players. But maybe for my Frank Ntilikina haters, you can use him as an example of one that's not improving, whatever. But we have 4 other options that have been playing very well due to the tutelage of this coaching staff. I don't think that trading for Anthony Davis and going for the instant gratification is the move. And I definitely think Zion Williamson right away would be able to hang with those other superstars. Right, I'm not tripping about that. So I feel like, why go that route when we can already have somebody that can get the ball, dribble down the court? Because a lot of people don't realize that this kid was trained to be a point guard before he grew and became the guy that he is right now, which is why he's able to rebound and take the ball up the court like a LeBron James very easily. So in my brain, trading him away from Anthony Davis just doesn't make sense to me. We pair him with the guys that we can potentially get in free agency and call it a night. That's my opinion on that. That's my 5. Those are my 5 favorite guys in this year's draft. It's a rough draft. Definitely we have March Madness to come up, and we'll see if that changes up. I know a lot of you guys are very very curious about what we should do in the second round. I'm gonna save that for another video. I'm gonna do that, my second round favorites, in another video. But let me know what you guys think about this. I want to hear all you guys' scenarios. Be sure you guys tune in tonight on ESPN to watch this game. This is not sponsored ESPN, but you can shoot your boys some money if you want to. But definitely check out the game tonight on ESPN. I'm gonna be watching. I want to see Cam Reddish continue to thrive. I want to see this new RJ Barrett, who's heard the criticism in the media, and now look at him out there dropping 11 dimes and stuff. So I want to see that continue. I'm looking forward to looking at that tonight. Much love to you guys. As always, you guys know the deal. Follow me on my socials. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Ring that bell so you guys get the notifications when I drop these videos. And as always, give me that like. And the hashtag I think most appropriately is hashtag praying for Zion. Right there, praying for Zion. Put it in the comments below next to your comment. I'm going to be going through them. Much love to you guys, man. Catch you guys. I'm possibly streaming tomorrow, so hopefully I'll see you guys in the stream tomorrow playing some 2K, and I'll see you guys then. Much love, y'all. I'm out of here. Let's get it.